Well, unfortunately, I have indeed been scammed. I know, it's crazy, but it does happen, and it happened to me. But sometimes that's just how it has to work out, and unfortunately for me, I got scammed. Specifically, I ordered an RTX 4060, but instead I got an RTX 2060. That's quite a difference. Admittedly, some of this is definitely my fault because I was not as cautious as I should have been. The listing only had a picture of the box. That was the only picture on the whole listing. So obviously, being me, I took the risk because I'm dumb. But also the seller seemed like it was trustworthy, so I was just like, you know, it's probably fine. They probably just didn't take pictures of it for whatever reason. I don't know. But obviously in hindsight, not a great idea. But you know me, I have to roll with the punches. So what better way to make light of this than to see how getting scammed in 2025 performs? And what I mean by that is I'm going to be testing the GPU that I got instead of the 4060, obviously. So let's see if it works at all. Okay, so this is the system we're going to be installing this Scam 2060 in. I think this represents a pretty average system to install a GPU like this in. It's nothing insane, but it'll definitely get the job done for our little Scam GPU. I will be honest, I do actually kind of like the model of this 2060. I believe it has a little RGB little like line here, which I think looks nice. It is a little on the thicker side, but I still think that it'll look decently nice in this system, regardless of the fact that it is a Scam GPU, but whatever. Also ignore the fact that the SSD isn't screwed in. It's fine, okay? It's perfectly fine. It's slid in there a little weird, but I think it's okay. All right, I have the system sloppily set up, and I'm using my ancient Dell monitor to, I guess, see if it posts or not. So let's see if it explodes. All right, I flipped the power switch and there is a little light, so that's a good sign, I guess. But let's go ahead and power it on. Okay, so it didn't explode. That's good. Hey, we're in the BIOS. Let's go. It really is a shame that this GPU is a Scam GPU because it actually looks pretty nice in this system. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and let it sit and run a little bit of firmware real quick just to see if it's actually, you know, functional. It seems to be doing fine so far though, but we shall see. Okay, so it seems to be doing fine after about 5 to 10 minutes. I don't think it's gonna start crashing. It unfortunately doesn't change the fact that this GPU is not what I ordered though, so still pretty disappointing. Now, obviously, if you were in this situation, obviously return this thing as soon as possible. Get yourself a refund. But you see, I'm a mad lad, so I'm gonna try and actually game on this. Now, I know it's probably not gonna be very interesting. It's literally just a 2060, but I guess if you have to play a game on a GPU you got by mistake or via a scam, can you actually game on it properly? Well, let's go ahead and see. Okay, we are in Windows on the Scam GPU, and basically I'm just gonna try and get my nightly gaming in. I know it's pretty late, 12:47 a.m. I am a grown man. I will do what I want. Anyways, I'm just gonna be playing the games I usually play, so yeah. Okay, we're starting things off in Killing Floor 3. This is a pretty newly released title, and it runs on Unreal Engine 5, so you know it's gonna run just great on this 2060. And what I did with the settings was I set it to 1080p with all low settings. Trust me, this GPU needs this. I did set textures to medium just to make it look a little nicer, and I'm also using a little bit of upscaling via DLSS, and we're at the quality preset, so it shouldn't look too bad, but I'm just trying to game here, okay? I'm trying to have some fun. I'm trying to distract myself from the fact that I've gotten scammed. So let's see how it does. Now, I will say, I think for low settings, this actually looks pretty good. Obviously, it's not the best looking game in the world, but games definitely used to look a lot worse at the low settings, so I'll give it that. But in terms of performance, we're hovering around the 100 FPS range. Probably gonna get a bit lower the more enemies we get on screen, but it does seem to be doing pretty decently well so far. I'm not too picky. As long as my frame rate hovers around the 100 FPS range, I'm doing okay. I can still hit my shots decently well. And as for the resolution, it doesn't look too bad with DLSS. Not the sharpest picture for sure, but you know, for 1080p with quality, it looks okay. But yeah, this is a game I've been playing pretty recently, and I tend to just randomly play it late at night like this. So this is pretty much my usual schedule of gaming. And so far, I will say this 2060 is doing decently well for me. Like I said, I don't think I'm too hindered right now in terms of my skill. It's an okay experience, but obviously the 4060 would be doing quite a bit better here. But I'm trying to make the most out of this, okay? I'm trying to hold back the tears. Now, obviously, if you were in my situation, contact the seller immediately, try and get a refund. I'm only testing it because it's content and I thought it'd be funny to look at it. But if it's you, please get a refund ASAP because it's not fun to be scammed. And obviously, if you aren't too picky about frame rate, maybe if you want like a 60 FPS experience, it has some headroom here to up the graphics settings or the resolution. This video has basically turned into the 2060 and 20
2025. That's funny. I think the main thing holding this GPU back nowadays is probably just the VRAM, and also the ray tracing isn't really that good. I am curious how much performance we're losing compared to the 4060, because I'm not really sure. I'm gonna guess probably around 50%. It's probably a decent chunk that we're losing, which is unfortunate because we paid 4060 money for this thing. Anyways though, I think it appears that Killing Floor 3 is more than playable on this GPU, and that basically means that my gaming habits are okay on this GPU, so I don't know what that proves. I'm still scammed. Okay, you know I had to do it. We're playing some Resident Evil 4 Remake, and this is another game I play a lot, just randomly. And we are of course running at the 1080p resolution, and we are using the prioritized graphics preset, and I did disable any sort of upscaling, but yeah, let's see how it does. Okay, we're in the game, and we're in one of the more intensive parts of the main story, and it seems like we're running around the high 70s, maybe low 70s now, maybe high 60s now, because they're dropping a little bit. Pretty good for a, not like insanely old AAA game, it's definitely getting old now. It's crazy, it's been 2 freaking years since this game came out, but I could definitely happily play the game like this, at least so far. Let's see if it drops any more. Give Ashley back, you bastard. Give her back. But yeah, this is a, you know, it's not like a slow-paced game at all, but it's one of those games I could definitely get away with like a 60 FPS experience. And you know what? I'm having fun, so that's really all I want to do here. Okay, why the frick did you try to grab me? Get out of here. Oh, well, they got her, so I guess this GPU sucks. But yeah, the GPU isn't holding up too bad nowadays. The 2060 isn't terrible. The 4060 would definitely be doing a bit better here, so I guess maybe it's not great. Maybe the 2060 sucks. But if you're just buying the GPU on its own, it's doing okay nowadays. It probably better serves as like an esports type of GPU with some light AAA gaming here and there, but mostly esports, honestly. And obviously don't get scammed like me and pay over $200 for a 2060. The 2060 is not worth that much. Anyways, in conclusion, please be wary when you're buying stuff on eBay. Even in cases like this where the listing didn't even look too good to be true, it was still a scam. It was a pretty average price for a 4060, so I didn't really think anything too much of it, but even then, I probably should have been a bit more suspicious considering the only picture was the GPU box, but that's my fault. And that can be used as a lesson to you guys. Don't buy suspicious eBay listings because you will probably end up getting scammed like me. But with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this little video where I get scammed. It's awesome, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching.
A big thank you to all my channel members that have decided to give me their money and support my channel. I really appreciate that. If it weren't for them, I would not be making these videos, so thank you.